What's going on, you guys? Back here again with another program design video. I was actually going to do a different program design, but then someone suggested this in the comment box about doing a push-pull leg program split using a total gym or sliding bench trainer. And I think that's a really good idea. I think it fits really well with these types of devices. It's certainly one of the more popular types of workout splits that you find in the resistance training circles. Certainly one that I've followed in the past when I used to go to the gym. So that's what I'll get into in this video. It's going to follow a similar template like my other past program design videos. If you guys are curious about checking those out, you can find those on the programs playlist on my YouTube channel if you guys want to see that. And just like the last program I did, it's not the most efficient thing in the world, but if you guys do want a copy of this PDF, just send me an email in the description box and I'll get that out to you when I can. And as always, I'll put timestamps and links in the description box. I'll cover a couple areas, also jump to some exercises, so there'll be some exercise portions on this as well. And any questions, comments, feedback, definitely let me know. And it's always helpful if you guys like and subscribe. It's always appreciated. So let's jump right into it. Who is this program really for? It's really anyone who wants to build muscle, increase muscle definition, etc. If you're just basically, it's resistance training. I actually deleted muscle toning. Someone said a comment in one of the videos. I understand people don't like that word muscle toning because you can't tone muscle, but I say that only to not scare people away. When I say build muscle, increase muscle definition, people think like muscle mass, and that's not always true. Some of that is diet, but basically if you want to increase aesthetic muscle, make your muscles pop a little bit more, this would work for you. Someone who can dedicate at least 3 to upwards 6 days a week of training. Really, 3 days a week is the minimum. I'm just putting this range in here, but this will vary on the frequency and how you organize this, which I also will get into when we talk about frequency down below. And this great. Also, what's great about this is it can be tailored for any age, really any demographic. Doesn't really matter too much. And also, I'd say specific goal too, meaning that it really depends on how you manipulate your rep sets and intensity and what else you're doing. But the point is, if you're doing some sort of resistance training, you can adapt this to fit your goal. Some of the benefits of doing a push-pull leg sequence: it provides you more work on a specific muscle area or just pattern of movement. So instead of doing like an upper lower day, you're not having to focus on all these different body parts all at once, with the exception of lower day, because I guess that's kind of the same. And not, you're not doing like a total body workout either. So you can focus on more work on a desired area, but that ultimately still depends on how many sets and reps you're doing anyways. But in general, it just makes things really simple. So it makes your workouts really simplified. You're not just doing all your whole upper body, like your chest and back, and fitting in everything. You're just focusing on pushing related exercise or pulling or legs, etc. And it's possible to train all body parts at least twice a week. It allows you to kind of be flexible with how you design this. Twice a week would be ideal. I understand that some people that could be a little too much for their muscles and joints, maybe for certain people or certain specific areas. You could do this once a week, but ideally you can work your body parts multiple times a week. People even use the push-pull leg sequence in the same day. Now, it might sound like it's total body, but people might do like a push in the AM, a pull in the PM. So there's a number of ways you can manipulate this. So I'll talk about that when we get into it. And then as far as like the intensity metric, this will be in here in the sample workout. The sample workout for this is going to be a lot more simple for this one. But I almost took this off. But if you're going to thinking about how to organize these things, I will reference intensity. So if I say things like hard intensity or high intensity for a total gym or sliding bench trainer, by that I mean, choosing a incline or intensity that allows you to get to failure in that rep range. So the rep range is like 20 repetitions or 15 to 20. You're getting to failure in the 15 to 20 versus moderate. I'm saying essentially choose a setting that allows you to still have 5 reps in you. So if I said 15 to 20 repetitions, but you maybe finished at 20 reps, but you could have maybe done 25. And then low intensity is you still could have done 10 plus reps in that given repetition range. Ultimately though, don't worry about this too much. I always say with intensity, just focus on feeling, focus on for you as an individual working that muscle. And depending on the incline you're at, you might do more reps, you might do less, you might do more or less sets, depending on a certain muscle and how you kind of feel, but that's kind of up to you. I know it's not totally clear, that's up to the individual, but that just kind of comes with time a little bit. Jumping into frequency, this isn't a total exhaustive list here of all the different variations you can do with push-pull legs. But these are some of the most common. So if you want to do a 6 times a week, like you're training 6 times a week, you could do something where your off day, which your off day could be purely doing nothing. There could be some cardio stuff, assuming it's not like right here, it's bumped up against your leg. So depending on what kind of cardio you're doing. core stuff, like abdominal stuff, this could be something, but really any kind of extra movement stuff could be on the off days. But you could do Monday push, Tuesday pull, Wednesday legs, and then go right in again to push, pull, legs, and then cycle it again. So you're allowing at least 48 hours rest between those push exercises. One little caveat I'll just add here now, you certainly could do push, legs, pull also. So that's, I didn't say that, but you could do that as well. An argument against this method sometimes when it's so close together is that some of your pushing inherently, like you're working those eccentric muscles or those opposing muscles are also kind of working. So even though I'm doing all pushing related stuff, my pull related muscles are still kind of working in a sense because they're working to kind of slow down the movement. So some people argue maybe you want to take a day off, which is what if you're doing like a 3-day-a-week program, it would be something like this. You did a push day, off, pull, off, legs. As I said before, ideally I would say it's good to get them kind of you want to work them at least more than that per week. You could certainly, instead of taking 2 days off here, I'll say this down below in a second, you could go push off, pull off, and then when it gets to legs, even when it says off here, just start up again here on Sunday. So it kind of just, you know, butts up against and kind of is uneven each week. So you could do that as well. That's another option. You could do something you want to do more of an emphasis. So you could do an upper body emphasis. I know a lot of people more like to kind of stress their upper body, or maybe you're doing extra lower body stuff like in your cardio days. Like for me, I like doing the rower. Maybe you're running or doing other type of stuff that's leg related, or my cellular sizer too. I do that. So you could do something where it's push, pull, legs. So just doing one of those a week. Tons of different variations, but the point is you get it. You're doing a push and a pull and a leg. You're fitting it in there in some type of order. Ideally, I would say something like this. I would say push, pull, legs. Maybe you could take it off, then do push, pull, legs again. That's probably, I think, it'd be ideal, but this looks good to me. It seems like a lot of work, but honestly, think about it. You don't have to do these marathon sessions. You can make them as long or as short as you want to. So even though it's 6 times a week, maybe you make this like a 20 or 30 minute session. If you're only doing 3 times a week and one push, maybe you make this a 45 to an hour session. So you can do a little bit more or less depending on what you're working with. Now here's how I organize the workouts. I kind of thought about this for a second. Again, I try and make this stuff really simple. I try and make it so I can apply to a lot of people. I want to give you guys flexibility, but I still want to give you guys a conceptual framework to follow. So here's an easy way of designing the workouts. Basically, I say, choose 1 to 3 primary exercises, and then you're going to choose 1 to 3 secondary exercises for a total of at least 4 exercises. So I almost put a range here. I don't want to really limit you. You could even argue you could do 3 exercises total. You could even argue you might even do 1 or 2 exercises, because honestly, when I do legs, sometimes I've done workouts where I just pick 2 exercises. Maybe they happen to be 2 primary exercises, and I just do those for a lot of reps and sets. So there's nothing really wrong with that. I'm just saying by a general template, this is what I would do. So we'll get into that in a second. So I'm going to have you guys choose and pick 1 to 3 primary and then 1 to 3 secondary. And as it's kind of already stated, if it's not obvious, do your primary stuff first and then do your secondary stuff second. Although if you wanted to do like a circuit style thing, you could do that as well. And just to kind of review, some of you guys already see this, but when I say a push workout, it's going to encompass your chest, your shoulders, your front and side deltoids. I kind of even debated on that. You don't have to do a ton of this. Maybe I'll get into this a little bit because some of your delts are going to be working in your pull workouts as well, but depends on how much more of this you want to do. And then triceps as well. If you wanted to, again, organize your push-pull legs, if you're doing a 6-day-a-week split, maybe you have the first push day is more chest emphasis. Maybe the second push day in the week is a little more shoulder emphasis. So you can kind of pick and choose how you want to organize it. I wouldn't worry about it too much though. Pull workouts is working your lats, your rhomboids, rear deltoids as well, which are part of your shoulder, obviously part of your deltoids as well. Your traps, your biceps as well in general, and then legs, hamstrings, quads, calves, glutes will all be working. Just throwing it in there in case I know people ask those questions about what muscle groups they're going to be working. All right, so now here's the exercise list. I'm not quite sure how I'll organize this video, but you either see this before or after, but you will see all these exercises being performed in this video. So right off the bat here, the push exercises, and I would say this is not totally exhaustive. There's definitely other exercises you can do, but these would be the main primary exercises, probably the main ones I'd definitely be doing. There's no shortage of, I said this in many videos, there's no shortage of total gym exercises or sliding bench trainer exercises, but here's the main ones. I like to kind of stick with bread and butter ones personally. You guys might want to deviate off if you guys want to. For the push exercises, again, you'd select, let's say, 1 to 3 exercises. You would choose some primary ones, might be the regular chest press. You could even do a regular chest press into an incline if you guys wanted to. You could do some push-up variations where the push-up handles are down below, doing a variety of things. I didn't really feature a lot of different variations, but you can do like pikes or jackknives. You bring your knees out or bring your hips in the air into a push-up. You can attach the Pilates bar. If you guys have the weight bar attachment, you can put that across the Pilates bar. That works really well for your chest. I'd even say sometimes that Pilates bar press, or even I guess you can use the squat stand if you guys want to as well. Works. It's kind of a combination of chest and shoulders. Kind of depends how you're sitting and how you kind of follow through with the press, but definitely a combination of chest and deltoids. But any chest press and work your deltoids as well. So you could pick one of those. Those would be your primary exercises. Secondary exercises for your push day, it would be you could do some chest flies. You could incorporate lateral and frontal raises. As I said in the previous shoulder video, these are good to do. I personally don't go crazy with them, but you certainly can, pick a exercise or two for maybe a set or two of one of these. But it's totally up to you how many of these you guys want to go ahead and do. And then for your arms on the push day, your triceps are going to be working during these exercises anyways. But if you want to get some extra arm work in, I would incorporate triceps into your push day just because it corresponds with these same muscles you're going to be working. So if you want to get some extra work in the push day, incorporate a variety of tricep press downs you could use on your back, supine, face down, the number of ways to do triceps, but just pick your tricep exercise. You can use the dip bars as well. And then for pull exercises, I would say your primary exercises for the pull day, definitely I would say some form of pull-up or sequence of pull-ups, single arm row or double arm row. It's totally up to you. I didn't show it in this video, but you definitely could add some external weight, add some resistance bands if you got the weight bar attachment, or get creative in how you want to attach the bands. If you guys haven't seen that video, I did do a video about attachment sites on resistance bands. If you guys want to see about that, how to attach resistance bands. I even just threw this in here too. I don't know why. Maybe it doesn't belong here, honestly, but sometimes if it's like a pull day, if I'm thinking of a pull day, what's kind of a bigger primary exercise that works pretty well if you're sitting there is some sort of a band row. There's some lat pull downs as well, side lat pull downs. I didn't show all the lat pull downs, but I think the side lat pull down, you actually can feel it pretty good when you do this exercise. And then a secondary exercise, you could do some rear flies. Higher rows, I don't think I didn't show a video of this, but just essentially rowing a little bit higher with your arms coming up, kind of flailing up a little bit higher if you guys want to incorporate that. You could argue that might be kind of a primary muscle as well, but that would, both those rear flies and high row be working more your posterior deltoids, the back side of your shoulders, but still your muscles of your traps, rhomboids as well. And then this would be the day, as far as arms are concerned, incorporate some bicep curls, just like with triceps. Feel free to incorporate whichever one you want, whatever feels good for you that day. And again, numbers kind of up to you as well. But you certainly could, like I said, pick one or two and then pick one or two here. You could pick 3 here, 1 here, kind of up to you guys on how you want to organize it. And then finally getting to legs and the leg day. Really, I kind of thought about this a little bit. Legs are pretty, there's a lot of different creative things you can do with legs. There's some things I have a personal preference to, but as far as primary exercises, I didn't feature a whole lot. I have other leg videos if you got more ideas. For the primary stuff, anything where you're using the squat stand where you're pressing through both legs, I would say it's a primary exercise, with the exception of what I didn't include in here is the any kind of lunging. I just personally don't do it. I know lunging are great. You can do some great assisted lunges. I feel like if I'm going to do a lunge, I just get off the machine. I'll use the it's like a drop step lunge with a resistance band, or the single leg resistance band kind of step up. That feels pretty good. But with the total gym or sliding bench trainer, I will just stick to some sort of squat where I'm face up, some sort of squat where I'm face down. Single leg squatting on that works really well. So I guess not just double leg, but using that squat stand, I think I would count as a primary exercise. Not really a technique video here, but with all my leg stuff, you can stress it really good with some added tension from resistance bands. Again, you can check out my resistance band attachment site video for more information on that. But I think I always feel pretty good. The single leg side lying press with the resistance bands in this video felt really good. So that's definitely an option. Those definitely be the 3 primary ones that I do. There's some overhead squatting you can do with resistance bands. So a number of things you can do. You can kind of sit up on the machine and load it up that way, but kind of depends on what, kind of what you're working with. Always recommend getting a bigger squat stand if you guys do not already have that. And then secondary stuff, you could do leg curls, leg extensions. I didn't film leg extensions. That's when you're sitting upright doing like working your quadriceps. I think the leg curls are better in my opinion. As far if I'm gonna do like a secondary or like a single joint leg exercise, I think the leg curls feel really good in this machine. I link these down below in all my videos, but you can check out these D-Moose ankle attachments or ankle straps. They work really good. They're really secure. They don't fall off. So I link those down below in every video. Glute kickbacks, another great one. I almost thought this as almost a primary exercise, but it's not as demanding. It's something that if you can definitely feel this in the glutes, you got to focus on your glutes kind of really squeezing and kicking it back and doing most of the work instead of your quadriceps and your hamstrings. But glute kickbacks, awesome on this machine. And then a new favorite, which I did a whole video on, was I don't do it all the time, but if you really want to work your calves and build your calves, you can do some really great calf raises, assuming you got the Pilates bar attachment. Again, links down below for that. And then throw on some resistance bands and do some resistance bands calf raises. So that feels really good. Certainly, I know I said it already multiple times, this is not an exhaustive list, so you guys can break this down however you want to, but pick a couple multi-joint leg exercises and then add 1 or 2 secondary. And as I said in the start of the video, 9 times out of 10, if I'm being honest with you guys, I'm picking 1 or 2 of these primary. I'm not really doing the secondary stuff all that much, and that's it as far as what I'm doing. Now, a workout example, this almost probably isn't even necessary, but since I had other programs, I thought I'd incorporate it. Is you have your primary, just essentially do your first exercise as a primary, second primary, then do a third secondary, fourth secondary. Again, this could go into 6 exercises if you wanted to total. You could do a superset, or I'm sorry, like a circuit if you wanted to. You can go like, this could be A and then go into B and go back and forth. You could do A, B, and C. You could do the whole thing, vertical loading, do the whole thing, repeat the whole thing again. Kind of depends on yourself, your preference, what you're going after, but this is kind of what I would kind of stick to. If you're doing it as like your primary focus, those are the ones I'd really focus on being, that moderate to high intensity, meaning you're making it kind of a little more difficult in the reps. The secondary stuff could be in that low to moderate range, but there's nothing wrong with making this a high intensity exercise as well, as regards to what we considered high intensity in this video. So that's it, you guys. This video is going on longer than I expected it to. I apologize for that, but I wanted to give you guys all the information as much as possible. You guys have any questions, comments, feedback, definitely let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.